watching the brat. ChesaTheBrat, yeah. Get a subscriber tab. ChesaTheBrat.
What's up, y'all? Welcome back to my channel. If you're not already subscribed, girl, hurry up. At this point, if you're new here, I don't know if you knew, but if you subscribe to me, your ass will grow 3 inches. You'll become a better bitch. And that man whose profile you're stalking, he's definitely gonna like your story right after you subscribe. I'm not even playing. As y'all can see by the title, this story time is gonna be a little bit different because, to be honest, I never thought I would be doing this story. And before anybody's like,
oh wow, like you fall out with somebody and you just go run and make a story time about that.
Baby, if that was the case, I would have made a story time about this person that I'm doing this story time on a long time ago, for one, because we've fallen out and had years in between us falling out. So if I wanted to do that, I could have been did that. And I fell out with this person while I've done YouTube, so I could have just jumped at the first opportunity to do that if that was the case. And there will be a lot more story times about friends on here. And I don't mean friends from, oh, this situation happened in middle school, oh, this situation happened in high school. I would have had story times from situations that happened this year, last year, and the year before that. I would have had story times about family members. I would have had story times about a bunch of people on this that y'all will never see a story time on. Well, I'm not gonna say never.
Never say never. Never.
It's not like, oh, you come into my life and you do something to me and you're automatically a story time. Like, it's not even like that. It's just the fact that this person I have been such a good friend to for
such a long time.
And first of all, that has gone unnoticed and unappreciated the whole time. When somebody can just go from being somebody that claims they love me and care about me to treating me like
off the street,
then that is when I make the decision on whether I want to rise above that and just, you know, let it go and let God, or if I want to stoop to your level and treat you like a bitch off the street. And I'm all for growth. I'm all for being the bigger person and all of that. But at the same time, I feel like sometimes you deserve to say what you want to say and speak your truth. And honestly, if I'm going to be put through this friendship PTSD, if I'm going to have years and years and years of my life wasted on this person, my energy wasted on this person, multiple people in my family, in my circle, telling me like, this person does not deserve to be your friend, and I'm constantly saving face for this person, I'm constantly treating this person like family to me, and they can turn around and treat me like a piece of shit as soon as we get into a falling out or as soon as they go through something, then I don't feel the need to spare them. Like, if I'm gonna go through all of that, I'm gonna get my compensation, and that compensation is not coming from them, so the compensation will be getting a bag off of this story time. Simple as that.
yeah.
Basically, this story time is literally ongoing. Like, it starts back in middle school all the way to now, because it's the friendship that I had since middle school, literally over a decade. And I'm not gonna be like confirming anybody in the comments or denying anybody in the comments. I really don't care if y'all know who I'm talking about, and if y'all do know who I'm talking about, then you know who I'm talking about, which 9 times out of 10 you don't know who I'm talking about. 9 times out of 10 you'll think you know who I'm talking about and you be wrong. So I'm gonna give this person the name Snarky for multiple reasons. Main reason being that this person was super snarky with me, and when I addressed that, that's when everything went down. I met Snarky and I want to say that I was in 6th grade and they were in 8th grade. Yeah. How we actually became friends is at the skating rink that I always tell y'all about. So I always used to go to the skating rink, and after we became friends, like, it became like a place that we went together on the weekend. But before I started going with Snarky was already there going with like their friends, and I was going with my friends. And there was this one boy, I'm gonna name him, I think it was Niall. I think I'm just gonna say their name because I don't care. Me and Snarky would get into arguments at the skating rink, and I can't even tell you what the arguments were about. Like, I don't even remember what we would argue about, but I know that Niall would specifically like come to me and tell me that Snarky's talking bad about me, and then we'll go to Snarky and tell them that I'm talking bad about them. And it would just be this back and forth thing, and we would be arguing like, we were just fake arguing for real. And Snarky would say a lot like, oh, I would argue with you because I was jealous of you, or I would argue with you because you were like pretty and it made me mad, and things like that. And I took it as like jokes. Like, I didn't take that as a serious thing. Like, if you have a friend that tells you, oh, I'm jealous of you, or I hate you, I hate how pretty you are, I hate you, I wish I could be pretty like you, I wish I was you, that is a red flag. Like, that is a super big red flag, because jealousy, when people are jealous of you, that's dangerous. And take somebody seriously if they tell you, "Bitch, I hate you," or "I hate how pretty you are." Take that seriously. Do not take that with a grain of salt. Don't take that as flattery either, and don't take that as a compliment, because it's really not. And things start getting weird when people feel like that, I promise you. But yeah, so it would just be messiness back and forth. He said, she said, and we would get into it, but never like fight. Like we would just be arguing, like having little scream fights and stuff like that. And then we just randomly became friends. Like I don't even know how. Like I think we just stopped with the bickering and like realized it was stupid, and we started being friends, which to me, that's a red flag. I don't know if everything is just gonna be a red flag to me now, but that's a red flag to me because we started the friendship off of bullshit. We started the friendship off of bickering and arguing. So I don't know why I thought that the friendship wouldn't end the same exact way. And I don't know why I didn't think that the same things that Snarky would say back before we were friends were going to circle back and be said to me when we, you know, were. So yeah, soon enough, in school, we became like a little trio with this girl, and I'm going to name her Marshalls. I'm just gonna name her Marshalls. This is not a story time about Marshalls. I will be doing a story time about Marshalls because we stopped being friends before like 10th grade, and this person has put me in dangerous situations. And like, yo, I have not told y'all about the worst fake friends that I've had. I have not talked about them for a reason, because it's traumatizing. But this person was friends with Marshalls, and to be honest, Marshalls and Snarky are still friends to this day, I believe. And now they're probably gonna bond over hating me, even though Snarky be talking mad junk about Marshalls. But we're gonna get into all of that too. They were both very messy people. They were both very much driven by drama, very much went to school just for drama type of person. And like, Snarky was like, is a very unaware person. Like they are not self-aware at all. Because while I can say, like, you know, I used to be messy at times, while I can say, oh, because of my BPD, there are people that I didn't treat the best, I can own up to my, you know, my ish. I can own up to my problems. I can, you know, I can say when like, oh yeah, that was distasteful of me to act that way. Snarky, no, absolutely not. Snarky doesn't even think that they were messy in high school. Snarky does not think that people disliked them for a reason. Snarky would often like make little jokes and be like, oh Chesa, like I remember when bitches did not like me because I was your friend. And in reality, y'all, a lot of the issues stemmed from Snarky. Like a lot of people didn't like Snarky because they were
messy,
and it wasn't because they were my friend. And if they said it was because they were my friend, they probably just didn't want to tell you to your face that you messy, because bitches were scary in high school. The same way that I was being messy towards would act like they don't want to be my friend because I'm friends with you. But it was really because I was messy as fuck. Like let's really clock the tea. Now I'm not interested in being in no type of trio friendship or any type of friend group, because somebody always ends up being the like the what is it called, like the backup friend. And I have been the backup friend in every single friend group that I've ever had, literally every single time. So yeah, I would actively try to make sure I don't leave out Marshalls or I don't leave out Snarky whenever me and Marshalls would hang out, because I know how it feels to be left out of something. I know how it feels to be the friend that, oh, she's not as funny as her, or oh, she's not as fun to hang out with as her, because Snarky would religiously hang out with Marshalls
without me.
When I was down, like when I was able to hang out, like I literally would see them on Snapchat having a sleepover, which I'm not saying that they had to, you know, include me. Like I'm not saying, oh, it's mandatory that you hang out with me, but like they would specifically act like they weren't doing anything on the weekend. Like I'll be like, oh, what are y'all doing this weekend? And they would both be like, oh, nothing. Or they would sometimes tell me like, oh, I think I have to do this for my mom, or I think I have to do. And then I would see them on Snapchat having a sleepover doing TBHs. Like
y'all are fake.
And it got to a point where they started making me so jealous and so like left out, to the point where I would be like mad if Snarky was like hanging out with another friend other than me, because it wasn't that you're hanging out with another friend that's making me mad, it's that you don't make time to hang out with me. And whenever you hang out with me, you are hanging out with me when your other friends can't hang out with you. And I did not like that, because we're supposed to be best friends. We're supposed to be, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm always here for you. I'm always hanging out with you. I'm always trying to make plans, initiate hanging out with y'all, and y'all are always doing me wrong and leaving me out. So even when we did hang out like all together, it would be like they would be keying, dying laughing
while I'm just there,
or like they would be cracking hella like inside jokes that I don't know, like that I'm not a part of, that I'm not included in, that I don't understand. And it would always blow me. But like the same way that nowadays I can like deal with a lot of BS from people, or like I put up with a lot of BS before I'm finally like, no, I'm done. I was even more that way back then. Like it was worse. Like I was holding on to my friendships like I would hold on to a glueless wig if somebody was trying to pull it. Like it would be bad. Marshalls ended up coming out as, I don't know if she came out as bi or if she said she was just a lesbian. I don't really remember, but I know that she had dated a few girls, and she dated, okay, so I think she came out as bi because she definitely dated boys and girls, and she definitely tried to do things with me, but there was this other girl that was introduced into like our friend group, but not really. Like we were friends with her, but we didn't really hang out with her like together. But we had a group chat with her, and we're gonna name her Lexi. I don't have no problem with Lexi. We really fell out because of, again, BS with Snarky and with Marshalls, because of like the situation I'm about to tell y'all about now. And I felt like they were trying to play bully on me, and I didn't like that. I don't even remember why we got into it or like why we started arguing, but I know specifically it started with me and Marshalls. She was a real fake friend, and I want to save that for her story time. But she would talk bad about me with her friends that I didn't know, like that I wasn't friends with. She would talk bad about me. She would spread information about me that I only told her around. Like she was very much wishy-washy. She was a friend that made me feel like we were in a relationship. Like she gave me vibes that like I had to gauge how her attitude was. Like I had to gauge. One day she was my friend, one day she wasn't. I had to like walk on eggshells around her, not because like I would make her mad in that type of way, like not eggshells on like I can't say certain things around her, but like I don't know if anybody's ever experienced this before, but like eggshells as in I would just be gauging whether she's like with me or not. Like I don't even know how to explain that. Like I would be hanging out with her and she would be so dry to me or just so cold to me one day, and then the next day she would be, I love you Chesa, kissy kissy, friend. And it's like, it's draining to have a friendship like that, because it's like, dang, I can't tell if you want to like, if I should talk to you for real or not. Like I can't even tell if I should crack jokes with you, because I don't know if you're gonna be like weird, you know what I mean? When we fell out, Snarky kind of took her side in like a fake ass way. Like I wasn't expecting Snarky to like not be friends with her no more just because we were friends, and we were friends first, which now they be saying that they were friends first, which is so weird to me because they literally met after me and Snarky were friends. So it's so weird, but whatever. They like to say that like they're both pathological liars. I'm not gonna lie. Like Marshalls literally be saying like that. We're not even gonna get into that. We have fallen out, and in the group chat with me, Lexi, Snarky, and Marshalls, they started being funny towards me. Like they were putting horse emojis. I can probably find the screenshots of like how, like from where they was doing this, because I still have them. But they were just like putting horse emojis, saying like I look like a horse, like making fun of like, I don't know, like I have a long face, and they used to say like because of my teeth I look like a horse. They used to say yeah, like Horsemouth. They used to call me Horsemouth. And literally Snarky's name in my name in Snarky's phone like not even too long ago was Horsemouth. And I remember like, oh, I'm gonna get into that. Just remember me saying that Snarky made the little like nickname Horsemouth when they put me in a group chat, or like when they started like trying to fake bully me in the group chat.
Y'all, I look crazy again. I just woke up and my press-ons are popping off. But I didn't even get into, like, I kept saying I'm gonna come back and like explain something, and I forgot to. But basically what I was gonna say is literally like last year, one of Snarky's best friends that they still have right now, that's not Marshalls, that's not Lexi or anybody that I'm talking about in this story, one of the friends that I said I shouldn't know her business, that friend, one time I was hanging out with Snarky, they were on the phone with their friend, and their friend was like, oh, who you hanging out with? And Snarky was like, Horsemouth, and they started laughing. And I was like, I looked at Snarky, and Snarky was like, remember when I used to call you that? Like, it's funny because I put your name, like, when we got into a little argument before, when I was hanging out with the girl that was on the phone, I put your name in my phone as Horsemouth, and you were calling me one time, and she was like, who is Horsemouth? So it's like a little joke. And it's just like, why would you get mad at me and put my name as something that you tried to use to fake bully me back all the way in freaking middle school, high school? And why does your friend know about the backstory of you calling me that name? That is so weird.
So they were talking mad crap, like, and there was this girl that I had met at the skating rink that they knew about, like only them. And I had like kind of liked her, but not really for real. And like, I don't know, like I had like a little mini crush on her at the skating rink, but I wasn't gonna talk to her or nothing like that. Like it wasn't a situation where I dated her or anything like that. I didn't even tell the girl that I had a crush on her. She was just my friend at the skating rink that we all knew. And in the group chat they were like, aren't you? Which is funny because all three of them are part of the LGBTQ community. One of them is gay, one of them is a lesbian, and one of them is bi. So it's weird that y'all are even like trying to say that to me in like a negative way just because y'all know I'm not comfortable with my sexuality yet, or like I'm exploring, or I don't really know what to call myself. But yeah, they were like, didn't you have a girlfriend? Like, didn't you date that girl? And she was like, don't make us like tell everybody how you dated that girl. And like they just started threatening me with stuff and like saying that they're gonna tell people that I had a crush on this girl when they knew, again, I wasn't ready to like even accept that for real. And it's not their place. Like I don't even care, like it's not your place. And they were like putting horse emojis and deer emojis and just any emoji that they felt looked like me, and they were like threatening to fight me and stuff like that. And y'all know I ain't never been no scary bitch, but one of them was a big bitch, and one of them was a big bitch, one of them I could definitely fight on my own, and one of them it wouldn't even be fair to fight. So I definitely did not want to fight them or get jumped. It was blowing me even more because me and Snarky were friends. Like we didn't fall out at all. Me and Marshalls fell out. Me and Lexi and me and Snarky did not fall out. So they just jumped on a bandwagon of hating me because me and Marshalls were getting into it, and they all just started like talking mad crap out of nowhere. And I literally was like, Snarky, you are fake as because why are you jumping, like why are you trying to fake bully me with them when we're literally friends? Like we just hung out like yesterday. Like what are you on? And I was like saying like keep talking like this, because they were talking crazy to the point where they were like threatening to pull up to my house and fight me. And I was like, Snarky, I will get my brother to beat your ass. Like don't even do that. I will get my brother to beat your ass. Like I was on some 12 ass shit, y'all. I was like, if y'all pull up on me, I'm calling the police. Because what? I am not gonna take all three of y'all hoes. One of y'all hoes is like two hoes in one, and I'm not doing that. After that little fake bullying thing, I obviously had a falling out with Snarky. And to be honest, like I'm gonna be completely real with y'all, me and Snarky, like once I saw that Marshalls was talking about me with people, telling my business to people and stuff like that, even when we became back friends, because I did become back friends with all of them after this situation, which goofy, me and Snarky ended up like talking about Marshalls like all the time after that. Like I became fake back to her since she was being fake to me. Like I shouldn't have even been her friend for all that, because you know me being fake don't make it no better. But me and Snarky would always talk about her. Like even to this day, now that I'm not friends with Marshalls anymore, Snarky still talks about Marshalls. Snarky talks about all of their friends, if we're being for real. And like y'all are probably gonna be like, well, why didn't you tell them not to talk about their friends to you? But it's like, I'm not friends with none of their friends, so I don't care. I just know that that's probably how you move when it comes to me, so I'm not telling you none of my business so you can go telling your friends. Like I'm pretty sure, because I did, you know, there's stuff that I told Snarky that I'm sure they have talked about with their friends and stuff like that, even though, you know, it's not really anything bad for real that they can say. Like there's nothing they can get on the internet and say, there's nothing they can say to their friends that I would really care if it got out, because I'm a pretty open person, and anything that I do that I'm not proud of, like that I could work on mentally, or that I could, like any situations in my relationship that I, you know, go through, or any situations with my choices or anything like that, I don't make choices like Snarky makes choices. That's number one. And if it ever came out, the things that I told Snarky, I wouldn't really care, because, and what about it? Nobody's gonna beat me up about none of that, and none of that is even bad for real. Like it doesn't affect anybody else. That's the difference. The stuff that I decide to do doesn't affect anybody else. The stuff that Snarky decides to do affects everybody else. So let's not even do that. After I became back friends with Snarky, and I don't even think I became back friends with Lexi, because she was the one, I think, like pushing the like agenda of like, oh, I'm gonna tell people that you like girls and stuff like that, which I don't really care about that anymore, because it's like, it's whatever, people know that about me now, and that's just that. But I don't know, we just never became back friends after that, and I'm guessing that's why, or maybe she just didn't want to be friends with me after that. I don't remember, but I remember me and Snarky and me and Marshalls became back friends, and there's that. So we're gonna fast forward some more. Marshalls ended up moving out of our high school, so it was really heavy on me and Snarky being friends. And Snarky and I were so close to the point where like you would never see Snarky without me, you would never see me without Snarky. Like in the hallways, at school, after school, we would hang out. They would come over to my house all the time. And Snarky started doing like social media, and like back in the day, social media or whatever, on like Instagram and stuff like that. And people really loved Snarky's videos. Like people really liked the content that Snarky would put out on the like Instagram and stuff like that, to the point where people in like our area would recognize Snarky when we would go places. Like we would go to Walmart and people would be like, oh my gosh, Snarky, like can we take a picture? And I would just be sitting there like I did not care, y'all. Like I was all supportive of Snarky being a little Instagrammer or whatever. Like I did not care, like in a bad way. I wasn't jealous, I wasn't envious, none of that. Because back then, like I've always had a dream of being a YouTuber, but I never thought that I would really do it for real. Like I never, for one, I was so insecure with my face and like just being on camera that I was like, there is no way that I'm ever gonna sit on no camera and talk. Like there's no way. I would love to be a YouTuber, but I don't think that that's something I'll ever do. So there was no reason for me to even be envious or nothing like that. I was really eating up the attention I would get when we would be like out and they would be like, oh my gosh. Around the time when Snarky was like really doing this Instagram stuff, this is when I started to like first start peeping that Snarky can be a real negative person, or like a real judgmental person, because Snarky was constantly getting into little arguments with people on live, or like having like Instagram beefs with people. And Snarky would come for people's looks a lot. And I remember there was this one person that they had beef with that they called a roach, and this person was dark skinned. Mind you, Snarky is white, so I wasn't too fond of some of the stuff that Snarky would say. And it started getting like where I was sometimes like call Snarky out on saying stuff, and I would like relate it to, you know, like you shouldn't say that because it could come off like you're being colorist, or you're being, you're being funny about like the race that the person is. And they would always be like, no, like I would never do that, like I would never, what's the name, I don't say the N-word. Like, and I'm not gonna lie on Snarky's name. Snarky does not say the N-word, or Snarky's never said the N-word around me. Like even like with songs, I've never seen Snarky say the N-word or nothing like that. So there's that, but that's the bare minimum if you ask me. There's still stuff that you should just not do, like that you should just not speak on. And I don't know, like it's just certain things that started happening that started just being a little weird to me, like the roach thing. Snarky would talk about Caucasian people like they weren't a Caucasian person. Like, that there's people that be like, I hate white people, like I hate my people, like I don't even claim that. But like Snarky would literally be like, oh, I love chocolate men, and all I eat is chocolate, like I will not F with nobody that's not chocolate, in a way where it came off like fetishizing. And I would be like, babe, it's really weird when you say stuff like that to me. I don't really like the things that you say, like about like how much you just love chocolate men and how big they are. It just came off like you're fetishizing our men, and I don't like that. Like that's weird to me. It comes off weird to me. I hate when people do that. And they would always argue with me and be like, girl, ain't nobody like fetishizing nothing, like I just like what I like, and I don't like white men, and I only like blah blah blah. And I'm just like, okay, like okay, it's still weird when you say it, like not gonna lie. We started arguing about stuff like that. Like I would try to educate them on like just how they come off to other people. Like even if you have good intentions with what you're saying, it's coming off weird. Like, and they would tell me that their other friends would think certain things that they would say is weird, but they're taking it the wrong way. And they would forget that they even told me that, because when I would be like, well, I'm not trying to bring up nothing that you brought up to me before, but you're telling me that nobody else feels this way, but you've told me when weird stuff has been said, or when people have said something that you said offended them, and you try saying like, oh, they were tripping, but the whole time they weren't tripping, they're saying the same thing I'm saying. And like I can take accountability. A lot of times that this person would call me and talk like about situations with their friends, things that their friends would say, or they would just be on the phone with me talking like mad crap on their friends. I should have said something. Like I should have been like, I don't really like how you be talking about your friends to me, because it makes me feel like you doing the same about me. And I've been told by my mama, like, it is a red flag if your friends talk shit about their other friends, they're doing it about you, because what makes you so special that they're not going to do that about you, right? And like when they would call me and say, oh, my friend said this, and I would agree with the friend, I should have just agreed with the friend. Sometimes I would. Sometimes I would play devil's advocate and I would be like, I'm not gonna lie, Snarky, like I kind of agree with that. Like you kind of wrong in this situation, because I'm a real bitch. I'm gonna be real with you. But it got to the point where this person was calling me every single day. And when I say every single day, I mean without fail, even like more than the person I was talking to. Like, you're calling me more than my man, you're calling me more than my mama, like you're calling me every single day. And like I have witnesses that can literally say like, damn, every time this person calls you, it's about something negative. Every time this person calls you, they're complaining about their life situations. Damn, every time this person calls you, they don't have nothing positive to say. So we're gonna go ahead and fast forward to like present day, 2021, 2022, 2023 ish. At this point, you know, we're older now, and this person is 2 years older than me. So I don't know, I kind of expected it to be an opposite friendship than it was. Like, even though this person was older than me, they were much more immature than me and much more irresponsible than me. And I wasn't really trying to judge, because, you know, everybody come from a different background, everybody come from a different level of, you know, privilege and what they had to do and what they had to, like, you know, how fast they had to grow up and stuff like that. And I'm not really judging nobody for real, but this is really where our friendship started to go downhill, because this person started making really irrational, self-sabotaging behaviors that started to affect our friendship. Because I started getting calls, you know, every day. Oh, I'm quitting my job because somebody made me mad at work, and I don't want to be friends. I don't want to work there no more because I don't like this person. Or this person would constantly victimize themselves when it doesn't even like make any sense. And there were a lot of times that they would quit their job before, you know, getting another job or like having another job in line or whatever. And then they would complain about how they didn't have no money, and they would ask me for money. And it just became like, I was looking at them like, how do you make these decisions and complain about them? Because like you're actively making the decisions. Like, I understand quitting one job because it's stressful and it's, you know, you're dreading going to work every day, but it started to become a trend. And I'm gonna get to why like that bothers me, because y'all probably like, what does it have to do with you? Like, why do you care? Like, you should support your friend no matter what. I don't know, like the older I'm getting, the more I want to surround myself with like-minded people, and the more I want to surround myself with people that, you know, want to progress in life and want to do better with their life, rather than constantly making stupid decisions and then complaining about the stupid decisions. Like, if you're gonna make stupid decisions, don't complain to me about it every day. Don't ask me for advice and then get mad when I give you advice. Don't ask me to help you and then deny my help and then complain some more when you could have got my help and been in a better situation. Like, there are so many situations, like beyond the quitting their job and not, you know, making sure they have something else lined up. This person would quit their job and they live with their parents, which there's nothing wrong with living with their parents. I personally didn't live with my parents. Like, I moved out of my parents' house as soon as I turned 18. And, you know, I've had to go back and like, you know, there's nothing wrong with, you know, getting back on your feet or whatever. But this person never tried, you know, moving out of their parents' house. This person doesn't really pay many bills or like have many responsibilities, which I'm jealous of you for that. Like, this is healthy jealousy, because I wish I didn't have all the responsibilities that I have. I wish I didn't have to pay my own, send my mama money for my phone bill. I wish I didn't have to pay my rent. I wish I didn't have to pay my insurance. I wish I didn't have to pay all this stuff, right? But they would call me and complain about like how they're hungry, and I would be like, oh, like y'all don't have no food in the house, like at all. And they would be like, oh, my parents have like tacos, or like they would say like, oh, there's stuff in the house, but it's not something I want to eat. And I would just be like, beggars can't be choosers. Like, what? Like, maybe it's just the difference, like the culture difference. I don't know. Like, I definitely have dealt with not having food in the house, like at all, like, you know, struggle meal type things. Like, I don't mean not food in the house at all, but like, it's just bologna in there and I'm gonna eat that bologna up, you know what I mean? Stuff like that. Like, oh, it's mac and cheese is in there, I'm gonna heat up me a mac and cheese and eat that. Like, they would have snacks in the house. Their parents had money, y'all. I'm not even gonna hold you. Like, their parents had money. So it's like, you have stuff in the house, you're telling me like what they have in the house, but you just don't want that. But you saying, you're complaining about how you broke and you don't have no money to get nothing else. So I would be like, oh, just eat, you know, something that they have there. And then they were like, I don't want to eat that. Like, I don't like that. They don't ever buy stuff that I want. And it's like, yeah, I get you live with your parents, but you can buy stuff and put it in the house that you want to eat. Like, what are you talking about? Or you can just be grateful for what's in the house and eat it and be happy that you don't really have to pay for nothing in there. Like, what? And I would just get like, I'm not gonna lie, it was this was like starting to slowly aggravate me in my brain because we just didn't think the same. We just wasn't on the same wavelength at all, and like stuff like that would start to like build up and bother me over time because I wasn't finna just be mean on the phone and be like, you're a spoiled brat, like what the fuck. I would just say stuff like, if you don't just eat what they have in the house, like if you're really hungry for real, you gonna eat it. That's what I would be like, and I would just leave it at that. But then the call started getting worse and worse. Without putting too much of this person's business out there, I'm just gonna say that this person would make a lot of decisions with themselves and like, you know, who they go around and stuff like that, and they wouldn't be putting themselves in the safest predicament. Like they would be doing things that could get them potentially hurt or get them sick, and when they would get sick or when they would get hurt, they would be complaining to me like, oh my god, I don't know what I'm gonna do, like I did this and this is gonna affect me and I don't know what I'm gonna do about it, and I can't pay to fix this and I can't afford to fix it. And I would just be like, all right, when it first started happening, I was just like, you got to make better decisions than that. Like you got to care about yourself more than that, than to be, you know, making decisions like that. Like you gotta do better. You gotta be safe with yourself. You gotta do better. And they would be like, yeah, I know, like I'm gonna do better after this. And then the same situation will happen again. And I'll be like, okay, so now are you going to, like, you know, be safe next time? Like, are you gonna be safe next time when you choose to do that? And literally this person will be like, I'll try, YOLO. And this thing that I'm talking about, y'all, would be something that would affect somebody else if they chose to not be safe. You get what I'm saying? Like, let's just say, because I'm not even like not saying it because like I don't want to put their business out there, because like I'm not saying their name. I'm already not saying their name. It's not just that, but it's also like this is YouTube and I don't want to get demonetized. So I'm gonna give y'all an analogy just so y'all can understand better, because some of y'all are probably blinking at the camera like, or blinking at the screen like, girl, what did you talk about? So let's say you come down with the cold, right? And you decide to go hang out with somebody and swap spit, and you want to go like link up with somebody, and then you get them sick, right? No, not even that. Let's say you go somewhere, you're not sick, and you come and you go swap spit with somebody who is sick, and they get you sick, right? And they give you something that you really can't get, like you have to go get treated for it, right? You go get treated for your sickness, you go get treated for your flu or whatever, and you finish your treatment out, you're not sick no more, you don't have the flu. And then you go hang out with somebody else, and then you get the flu again. And you didn't wear a mask, you didn't protect yourself or any of that, and then you catch the flu again. And then you crying to your friend about how you caught the flu again the same way you caught the flu the first time. And now your friend is telling you like you need to be safe with yourself, like that is not good. You don't want to be catching the flu back to back, and you don't want to be giving nobody else the flu. And then they come back and they say, oh well, I don't know how I'm gonna pay for this, like I don't know how I'm gonna pay for the treatment, which I felt like this person was kind of like low-key trying to ask me for money. But y'all, I've sent this person, I'm gonna get to this in the next situation, the next situation, but just keep in mind that I told this person you need to be safer, you need to do better. Like, oh, if you go and get the treatment, they'll give you the treatment and they'll just bill you, like you'll have to, like, you know, figure it out. So this person, I asked them like, so are you, they're like, oh, I'm gonna have to wait like 2 months before I can like hang out with somebody because my flu treatment won't be done after like, you know, 2 months. And I'm like, okay, so are you gonna wait the 2 months? Like, you're gonna wait the 2 months, right? And they were like, YOLO, like I'm gonna try. And that right there is what like did it for me. Like, we're gonna get to like how we started arguing about it, but that really did it for me, because it's like, what do you mean you're gonna try? Because if you don't wait the treatment out, you can give somebody else the flu, and isn't that illegal? But anyway, so these are the type of things that like this person would do, and it started to make me feel like my mom would literally tell me like, you don't want to be friends with somebody who don't care about themselves like that, because if they don't care about themselves like that, they don't care about you. And it already shows that they don't care about you when they can talk about their closest friends to you, which means they're talking about you to their other closest friends, right? Because this person had another best friend that wasn't Marshall's, like that there's this girl that they're friends with that I don't know for real, and let's just say that she has a very serious situation going on in her relationship, and this person would call me and talk about it, like talk bad about it, like would be like, oh, that's why her man is doing this, and that's why her man does this to her. And I would be like, oh my gosh, like in my head I'll be like, I cannot believe just because like they got into a little disagreement, they're airing this out to me right now, or they're like using this as like a jokey joke right now. And like also, it wouldn't even be all the time like that they're arguing or anything. It would just be like they're just talking about it when it relates to something else that we're talking about. And I started to feel like it was normal because they did it so much. But I started realizing that I'm not talking to them about any of my friends. Like maybe a situation between me and like somebody in my family I would talk about. But like I'm not talking about my friends that you don't know for real to you. Like I don't know, like I'm sure some of y'all in the comments will be like, oh, I talk about my friends with some of my friends because if they don't know each other, like it doesn't matter. But it's not even like, I'm sorry y'all, I keep touching my hair, but it's like, it's not even like you talking about a situation like that's mild. You're giving me real dirty laundry about your friends that I should not know. I shouldn't know what your friend's boyfriend does to her. I should not know that. I should not know that your other best friend has had a million different diseases. And like I should not know that. Like what is wrong with you? I should not know that. And like what do your friends know about me? Because like I haven't told this person that much about me for real for this reason. But like the things I have told them, like damn, did you go and run and tell them that like it was some hot new pot of tea? So fast forward, we got into an argument because, what did I say I was gonna get into again? Oh, we got into an argument because, like I said, back then I used to feel like a background friend to this person, but then once Marshall's left, she started kind of giving Snarky the cold shoulder. Like she really didn't hang out with them at all. She didn't really like answer their texts. Like that's something that they constantly complain about even like now. So we hung out like not often because I really started getting in my bag for real, making my content, and you know I was in a relationship, I was hanging out, I was focusing on that and stuff like that. So it wasn't even though like we were hanging out all the time, but we were hanging out. And this person lived, I would say like a good 20 something minutes from me at first. Like we first lived only like 20 minutes away, and I would drive to them before they got a car. Like I would be the one driving to them and they would be driving to me when they got their car. But then they ended up moving somewhere like 45 minutes away, 50 minutes away or whatever. So obviously I knew it was going to be harder to hang out because gas money, baby, gas prices are up. Gas prices are high. So I was like, you know, it's probably going to be harder now for us to hang out and stuff like that. Plus, like, they were always in and out of jobs, like I told y'all. And they would, like, start door dashing on the side and stuff like that. So there was this time where we were supposed to hang out. And I had asked, like, oh, do you want to come over and spend the night? And they were like, oh, yeah, like, I want to or whatever. And then when it came down to it, like, the day, they kind of, like, flaked on me, which I'm a flaker. I'm a frosted flake, baby. I be flaking on everybody. Like, I'm not gonna lie. It's something I'm working on because it's not cool to do. Like, you might as well just say you don't want to hang out rather than making plans and flaking. But 9 times out of 10, I'm flaking because something came up. But other times, like, I just don't be feeling like it. Like, I'm not gonna lie. And my friends know that about me now. So, like, if we're hanging out, it has to be like, let's hang out right now. It ain't none of that, like, let's hang out on Tuesday, because we know damn well Tuesday gonna come and ain't none of us gonna text each other. So I had texted Snarky and I was like, hey, you still coming over to spend the night? And Snarky was like, I'm not gonna lie, I don't have no money. I'm gonna have to DoorDash all day and see if I can come over or whatever. And I feel like Snarky would say stuff like this because they knew I was gonna be like, I got you. You don't gotta do all of that, because that's how it would be all the time. Okay, like there was a time where Snarky was like, oh, I can't get my nails done for my birthday, I can't pay for it, and I would send them money for their nails and be like, happy birthday. And I'm not even trying to just count favors or say like hold over their head everything that I did for them, but this person did not deserve it. Like literally they would tell me they don't have no money and that they need it for an emergency and ask me to borrow some money, and then I would send it to them, and then I would see them buying stuff that they shouldn't be buying. Like you buying a 3.5 with the money you said that you need to go to the doctor. Like what is you talking about? You telling me you need money for food, but you on Snapchat buying a 3.5. Like what are you saying? Or you FaceTiming me and you smoking after you just told me you didn't have nothing for you didn't have no smoke left the other day. So all of a sudden you ask me for money for food, I send you money for food, and now all of a sudden you re-up. Like what? Like y'all, I do not like stuff like that. So there was this time, oh yeah, so back to that, I was like, oh, I don't want you door dashing all day. You don't gotta door dash all day for some gas money. I'll just send you some gas money. I sent $100, and I'm gonna find the conversation. I sent $100 and was like, don't worry about it, like, you know, just go ahead and come over. So I sent the $100, and later on in the day they ended up flaking me still. I don't know what they did with the money, but they ended up flaking me still. So I got into it with them, and I was like, I sent you $100 for gas and you didn't even come over. Like, are you ever gonna come over? And it just kept being something back and forth. I was like, I sent you $100 and you flaked me, like you didn't even come. So I'm hoping you didn't spend that money on something else. So are you gonna come today? Like, and days went by when they never came over. And like, I guess like we just ended up changing the subject and talking about other things. Like, they never ended up coming over, and I guess I just sent them $100 for nothing. And they were literally like going back and forth with me about the money I sent them for gas that they didn't even use for gas. Like, I don't know, y'all. Like, this person was just always doing weird stuff. So this person ended up asking me like, hey, I have a job. When I get paid, can I give you like a certain amount of money from my check each month so that you can, or like every 2 weeks, so that you can put it in, like, I don't know, in your savings account, or if you can just keep it, because I want to be more like fiscally responsible, more financially responsible, like how you are, and I trust you. I know you wouldn't do nothing with my money. So we created this whole entire plan, y'all. I even opened a savings account. Now I use it for myself, but I opened a savings account and I was like, you know what, I'll put your money in my savings account so it can be safe and I don't have to like worry about accidentally using it, because I don't have a savings account. So our money will be separated. And I was like, you don't even have to give me like a big amount, like just start with a small amount, because this person had like a shopping addiction, like a spending problem, and I had the same. I had to get right, you know what I'm saying? I had to mature, I had to get right, because I started having bills to pay. So it's not like I can just get paid and go spend all my whole check on DoorDash. Like, you can't do that no more. And this person was telling me they wanted to work on saving their money so that they can move out of their parents' house, so that they can, you know, start paying for their own car insurance. You know, they wanted to start taking more responsibility. And this was like a proud mommy moment for me, because it's been years of me telling them like, you need to, you know what I'm saying? This person, I'm not even like, I know a lot of people don't get their license by the time they're 22, whatever, but this person didn't get their license till I was already 5 years driving. Like, I wanted this person to do better because I cared about them and I loved them as a friend, and I just wanted them to be on their boss. Like, you don't gotta be doing all of this, you don't gotta be making hella money, but like, be more responsible as a person so you can level up, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on. I just knew that they had so much potential. Not even potential, this person could be like in a completely different space if they made better decisions. Like, it's not like you have just life holding you back, or you know what I'm saying? Like, you already privileged above us all. If we're being for real, you already started with a head start. So, oh yeah, sorry. So yeah, so I started like telling them like, come on, let's do this. So we made this plan, came around to it, they got their check and they didn't want to do it anymore. Like, they were like, oh, next check I'm gonna do it because I want to buy, you know, some like, I'm gonna do it next check because I want to re-up, or because I want to, you know, I gotta pay for this or whatever. So then the next check came and I was like, hey, like, because they told me to text them and remind them. So I text them like, oh, okay, like, you ready to send, like, you know, however much? And they would be like, no, like, okay, next check for real, next check for real this time. And then the next check came and they were like, to be honest, like, I can't this check. And I finally was just like, you know what, I don't want to do this anymore. Like, we're not doing it, but I already don't want to do it anymore. Like, I'm offering help to you because I'm trying to be a friend. I'm trying to help you boss up. I'm trying to help you level up. I'm trying to help you do better, and you're not accepting the help. Mind you, you're the one who asked me to do this for you. I went and opened a whole bank account so I could do this for you, and you're playing. Like, you're playing with my time, and I have my things to do, and I can't be chasing you around every payday of yours to ask you to do something that you're clearly not going to do it. So we didn't even get into no argument about that, because how am I about to argue with you about you saving your money? If you don't want to save your money, baby, don't save your money. But I'm just letting you know, I no longer want the responsibility of doing this for you anymore, right? So they continued with the irresponsible behavior, irresponsible spending, irresponsible choices, whatever, and I started like just like not worrying about it anymore, because you're not my kid, you're not my sibling. I don't care that much. Like, if that's how you want to live your life, whatever. I'm probably eventually gonna get tired of constantly hearing complaining and negativity, and that's just gonna have to be a bridge we cross when we get there. And also, this person, like, when I said that they were judgmental, they were always talking down on people, they were always judging people, they were always just like, I found myself becoming more negative when I was around this person, because they were constantly gossiping about people, constantly talking bad about people, even just random people on Instagram. Like, and then I found myself sending links from TikTok of somebody that looks funny, and like, I just found myself just doing distasteful things that I don't do with any of my other friends. Like, why are we at our big ass ages talking bad about random people we do not know?
Come on. That is not cute.
We started getting into it because the bad decision just got worse. Like, it was bad.
It got worse. No. But I feel like it's about to get worse. Oh! It got worse. It got worse.
I ended up sending this paragraph. I'm probably gonna include it and like scratch out some of the stuff, or maybe I won't. I don't really know how I'm feeling about this. Y'all can tell, like, most of my story times I'll be like let's talk about it, let's get into the nitty-gritty. But I'm trying to be graceful with this because I still have love for this person, I still care about this person, but it's like, you'll talk to me like a bitch off the street, so I'm not going there with you no more. To give some context about this, they ended up quitting their job because they were going to get fired for doing something at their job that they should not have done, and their job was about to find out who did it, and they quit before that they could find out basically that they did it or whatever. Just imagine by the time we're having this conversation, this person has called me every day for the last like 2 years complaining about their money situation, and 99.99999% of the reason they were even in a financial rut in the first place was because of dumb decisions they made consciously, on purpose, and that they could have like fully avoided because they were doing fine at their job, getting good checks. So just keep that in mind. I was tired of hearing it. They said it's a lot of things I should have did, and I was like, yep, but now you know for next time. They said hopefully, and this is what be bothering me, because it's like, hopefully, just like you said, oh, you're gonna try to be safer next time and YOLO. Like, I hate that type of mindset. You're too grown to have that mindset. So I was like, no, not hopefully, you do. We're accountable queens 2023. You too old to ignore lessons. Learn from them. I'm working on the one we both know I need to work on, so you should work on yours too. They said, I be trying, but sometimes it just be so hard. And this was just me pouring. Like, I pour into my friends, I give advice, especially, like, I know that a lot of people don't like unsolicited advice, but this person is constantly asking me for advice every single day on the phone. And if you're constantly calling me, even the days that you call me to complain about your life and you're not asking me for advice and you're just venting, I get it. Sometimes people just want to vent, but you are like constantly draining me with your complaints every single day that I don't ask for, by the way. So if you're gonna open opportunity, an area for me to hear about your situation, if I have a solution or if I have advice, I'm gonna give it to you, babe. Sorry. So I was like, when you have a job, you should just calculate how much your checks usually are and put a certain percentage, even if it's a tiny amount, in a savings account for rainy days, like when you lose your job or something happens. That way you don't have to sacrifice the things that you know you can't keep yourself from buying, like that little green leaf, etc. You can still buy that stuff while putting a small amount away, and that way you don't have to ask anybody for money and keep owing people and feeling like a burden, because they've talked about feeling like a burden with doing that before. I said it's not hard, it's just something you have to do as an adult. What's harder is not saving any money and then having nothing when you really need stuff and having to ask for it or go without it. That's what's harder. I'm not nobody to judge you. I'm not perfect. I used to owe folks money and ask for money and stuff and not be responsible, but I got tired of people being able to say that I wasn't responsible as a young adult, and I got tired of feeling like a burden to others or just feeling unreliable. It was embarrassing for me because I'm getting too old for that shit. I'm not just a friend that doesn't help them and doesn't, you know, ever give them no money and never help them out of a situation. I'm always the friend. I'm always the friend that they call first. I'm always the friend that they ask first for this, because they know that I'm gonna do it, because they know that I can't say no. So yeah, I was fed up. So if y'all feel like I'm wrong, too bad, because I'm not. I promise y'all I'm not.
Just in case anybody's confused, I did cut out the last paragraph I sent because it was just too personal, and I would have just, sorry about the glue on my eyelashes, I would have been like marking out pretty much everything. Like, I would have been marking everything out, because even though like y'all get a gist of like some of the stuff that I guess you could say is like, you know, personal, the messages are very, very personal. Like, I'm speaking in specific about the situations, and I'm not trying to put that. That's too much. I'm not gonna put that on the screen. I'm not gonna read that. So just know that in this video, I read all of that, and that's why like I'm saying some of the stuff that I'm saying, because there's stuff in there that y'all don't know, that y'all missed, that I'm not gonna include. I'm just not. But yeah, so just know there's more, and it's worse.
I literally have offered to give this person a job answering emails for me, and they didn't even want to do that. So anyways, I said, even when you be working, I've been trying to keep it to myself because it be bothering me when you complain about your job life or say how you don't want to work somewhere anymore or you're going to quit, etc. because you don't want to be miserable at a job. Like, as an adult, you can't just quit a job because you don't like working there. You don't like the people or because you're miserable at work. Everyone is miserable at work, or at least 90% of the population. But unless you're in a position to quit your job and still be able to pay for all your responsibilities, or you have another job lined up, you can't just quit anytime you don't want to work somewhere. I said, even the other day when I called you and you said you were eating McDonald's and said you always have an extra $5 for McDonald's, y'all are probably like, girl, that is not your business, talking about he probably did this and probably did that. It is, because
Asked me for money that day. and lied to me about what it was for.
So no response. Next day I didn't get no response. Next day after that I didn't get no response. So I was like, alrighty. And they were like, huh? And then I said, you didn't see what I said? And they were like, yeah, I did, but I can't respond at the moment. I'm not sober. And I was like, oh, okay, are you okay? I said, are you drunk? I said, I honestly feel like you're just avoiding responding to what I said, but either way, what I said, I meant it. It's up to you to take the advice or to continue moving the way you're moving. All I needed to do was let you know that's really it. But if you are drunk or something, you need to be safe. And I know people from the outside looking in, I'm going to keep saying, y'all might think like, oh, like you're a backhanded friend or you're being kind of like rough on this person. No, this person calls me and talks mad junk about what all of their friends do and the decisions that they make. And they call in all type of stupid bitches and shit and are very judgmental. But when somebody gives you tough love and somebody gives you criticism or some real life, you want to hold your hands up and be like, you're attacking me. Like, nah, not going for that. And this is after years and years and years and years. Remember that. So next day I was like, are you still not sober? And they talking about some Chesa, chill out. I said, I'm not hype. I was like, if you can't have a real conversation and you avoiding responding when I'm being real with you, don't call me complaining about all your BS, because I'm always there to listen to it. But when I have real shit to say, you act like it's on your time or something, not doing it. They said it was nothing to do with you not being able to have a real conversation. Some things I don't need a constant lecture about. I'm already aware about my money saving issues. When I wanted advice about it, I asked you for advice. Right now, I don't want someone in my ear telling me about what I do wrong. Mind you, I don't give constant lectures. I give advice when you ask me for it, and you always asking me for it. But now you're complaining to me about it again, so now I'm giving you solutions. What? So I said constant lecture. I don't constantly do anything. When you complain about not having money, I'm going to remind you that there's something you can do about it. I don't just tell you these things unprovoked. If you want to talk about something that's a constant, if you constantly complaining about things going wrong in your life and 90% of the things are things you could avoid or prevent, but you choose not to when speaking about those things and literally say YOLO, or that you'll hopefully know for next time when you literally have control over that. I'm not blank or blank, which are his two friends that he's constantly dogging. I said, or any of your other friends, I'm going to always keep it real with you. If you don't want to hear me tell you that you could be doing better when you're complaining about shit, don't complain to me about shit. I finally just had to say, like, stop complaining to me about this shit. I don't want to hear that shit no more. So they're like, all my other friends keep it real too. Don't think you're realer than any of my other friends. Like, that's what you heard out of my whole message. That's what you heard. I said, you asked me for money advice and asked me to create an entire plan to help you, and don't even take the advice or the help when it came down to it. So I'm not really expecting you to ask me for any more advice. But again, if I'm hearing you complaining about stuff, I'm going to keep it real. I really could care less what your friends do or how real they are. If you don't want to hear me give you advice or tell you how you could be doing better, don't complain to me. When you said there's a lot that you could be doing, I tried to leave it at saying, now you know for next time. And here you go again with the hopefully, and that kind of, I literally cannot hear you say shit like that or have that mindset without saying anything. And they talking about some, all right. Mind you, every conversation is always all right, Chesa, you know everything. Like, they kind of flip that narcissist like mindset onto me, like, oh, you know everything, you're always right. Okay, Chesa, you're an angel, you do no wrong. Huh? I'm calling you out on your bullshit. You're saying like, okay, Chesa, you're always right. No, I'm not. I literally always apologize when I'm wrong. I always say when I'm wrong. What are you talking about, dude? I never said that I was always right. What? So I said, you're acting like I just gave you unsolicited advice out of nowhere. You call me almost daily telling me about things you're going through that, again, 100% could be avoided or prevented by you. Not even the money stuff, like being protective over yourself and other people. How do you expect me to respond to stuff like that? I said, I feel like you want friends to kiss your ass and just not give a when you live your life recklessly. I'm not that type of bitch. I'm sorry. I will never judge you, but I'll always call you out on your shit and try to help you even when it's tough love or advice. You always got all these words about how your friends do shit and live their life, but you don't take criticism. They said,
you gonna feel how you want to feel. I don't give a fuck about nobody kissing my ass, truly.
I said, you're right, and I do. Meaning, like, I'm gonna feel how I want to feel, and I do. I said, nothing I said was a lie. You just don't want to hear me say it for whatever reason. And okay, that's what it seems like to me, but glad to know that's not the case. Chesa always gonna be the bad guy for trying to help you be in a better position than you're in. I guess being a better friend to you would be to just hear you complain and not give you any advice and just let you do whatever the F you want to do, even if it isn't bettering you as a person. I said, there were some non-truths in there. I said, like what? I love to hear them. I literally wrote a paragraph repeating to you a bunch of stuff that you told me yourself out of your own mouth. All I did was tell you how you could do better than you are doing, and those things were just suggestions. Where do you see a lie? They said, nothing, ma'am. I said, exactly. They said, I just don't care to talk about it honestly. I said, of course you don't. They say, YOLO, man. I said, I really don't care for the catty back and forth shit. I wrote you that message 100% solely out of love and concern for you, honestly. You think that you're eating, but it's really just sad. But hey, it's your life. They said, I don't think I'm doing anything. I said, I'll stop giving a fuck and giving you advice. Trust. I said, just remember I didn't attack you in any way. I was trying to give you things you could do better in your life, better the position you're in, because I genuinely give a I'm a that literally would help you in any way that I can, whether it's giving you the money, helping you out, whatever the F it is, and you give me your ass to kiss in return and say YOLO man and trying to be funny and act like this is just because I was trying to help you, and act like this just because I was just trying to help you, because you decided to complain about something that you have complained to me a million times now for. So I was trying to give you a good solution, because that's what a good friend does. I don't give you advice every time you complain about something. I listen to you and I let you vent. But after a certain amount of complaints about the same thing, or after so long of seeing you make poor decisions, I'm obviously going to try and offer a solution. And trust me, now that I know you give me your ass to kiss for me in return, I won't anymore. So of course I got no response from that message, and I was like, all right. They said, I'm not mad about nothing, so don't act like you know everything. I said, right. They said, like, dead ass STFU, that shit is dead as I'm grown as I don't have no reason to sit here and be mad about your opinion. I said, LMFAO, yep, grown as I'll shut the fuck up as soon as you do. And I was just repeating what they said, and they said, that means. And I said, means what I said. They said, I'm gonna be done when I feel like being done. Problem? I said, okay, I'll wait. They said, hold your breath while you wait. I said, KK. They said exactly my point. I said, mine too. They said, I don't have to get the last word. I said, have you stopped either? Then shut up. They said, you should have been shut the f up. I clearly didn't want to talk. I said, but I didn't. So now what? They said, like, at this point, this is when I knew, like, we were not gonna be friends no more. Like, this is a real argument now. But it's of course petty. So they said, so now you look like an idiot and a hypocrite. I said, not really. You're the idiot talking about a last word, but you keep replying. Two, LMAO. It doesn't seem like you don't want to talk to me. And then they said, you reply to get the last word. I reply to make a point. Two totally different things. I said a point about a last word. Please be for real. They said, you need to be for real and understand when somebody needs to be left the F alone. I said, right. Sorry, I'm grown for real. So when I don't want to talk, I just say that. I don't apologize and say I was busy and then ignore the person when they reply to that and expect them to be a mind reader. Because you didn't tell me you didn't want to talk. You didn't tell me you couldn't talk. You told me you were busy, and then that's it. I said, okay, stop talking to me then, because I can't tell. They said, can't tell what? I said that you don't want to talk. And then literally the next day said, obviously I was talking about then and not now. I said, okay. Then they sent me this random meme, and I said, what the F is that? And then I sent a picture of my, like, this is how we were all the time. We would get into it, and then we would, like, be cool. I tried to call them again later on. They didn't answer, and I was like, I'm not gonna lie, it just seems impossible to hold a conversation or to actually, like, get on the phone. Because we would get on the phone every day. We would have conversations, like, we would talk, and I felt like something was off, but I felt like they weren't, like, telling me why, you know, what was off, or, like, why they felt some type of way. They said, girl, I literally called you back, and you ain't answered, so, and then I sent them a screenshot of me not getting no message, and I was like, you know, maybe my phone is still messed up, because I was having an issue. I'm still kind of having an issue, but having an issue where I wasn't getting all my calls and texts because of some Apple ID issue that I was having. So I was like, oh, I guess my stuff is still not working. And they said, right. And then I questioned it because it gave like right, like you were trying to be like trying to imply that I was lying. So they were like, what's the question? And I was like, what do you mean right? And they were like, nothing, Chesa, nothing at all. Like back with the snarky. So I was like, why are you being so snarky lately? If you're still mad about the conversation we had days ago, get it off your chest. Don't keep being funny and snarky with me. That is so dead. And then I sent like proof that my phone was really messed up, like that I was being for real, because talking about something right, like I'm lying, like I gotta lie or something. So I was like, when you're over whatever issue you have, hit me up, because it's been coming off like I have an issue. If it's been coming off like it's, what the fuck? I said it, basically I was saying if I'm coming off like I have an issue, it's unintentional. I dropped the situation the day we ended the conversation. They said, I just don't have time for BS. I've been going through one of my roughest points in my life, and everything I do is an MFing problem for you. And that is honestly draining as F, and you don't give a F about how much these back and forths frustrate me. I have bigger stuff to worry about in my life than going back and forth with you. I'm literally going through, I have to go to the effing, I can't because I can't afford that. I'm driving on bad tires with holes because I can't afford new stuff. My parents are effing. Okay, so basically just a bunch of things that are things they could have avoided yet again. So I was like, you are so this is where I'm gonna start being mean. Like y'all seen that TikTok that was like, when you start treating them how they've been treating you, and it's like so nasty and so rude. Yeah, this is that. So I was like, you're so tone deaf, it's not even funny. You really think that everything is about you and that you're the only person going through stuff. You also believe you do no wrong, and that I'm the cause for all of these back and forths, as if your energy and attitude isn't petty as F and catty. It's really sad. You don't know what's going on in my family because I don't tell you. I just have, oh, I'm gonna take that out because that's something personal about one of my family members. I said, we're all going through stuff with our families. We are all going through stuff financially. I don't need stuff stressing me out either. And I definitely am not the one who plays a role in the petty back and forth. The only one that plays a role in the petty back and forth BS that we be doing. At least I don't blame it all on you. And at least I don't blame it on you. It's definitely me too. But the fact that you think it's just me proves the way that you look at life. Everyone is just out to get you. Woe is you. I said, like I said, when you over whatever issue you have with me, hit me up. What you going through is not an excuse to be a B word to me. I don't care if you read what I have to say or not. I said what I said. They said shit is about me when it's my MF in life. I don't harass you. I don't complain about stuff that you do. Which for one is not true. But I said, like I said, tone deaf. Your life is about you, yes, but not everything in life is about you. You can't just treat your friends like shit because you're going through a rough patch and then act like you do no wrong. That shit is ridiculous. I don't harass you either. Please go outside and touch some grass. Having friends that call you out when you need to be called out is not harassment. And again, that was one conversation days ago. I haven't said nothing else to you about how you live your life. I merely complained about a text back. Please be for real. Bye. And then he said, you need to wake up and touch some MF and grass. You ain't always right, perfect little snob that you think you are. I said, your skin color is showing again. If you read my message, unlike the entitled snob that you actually are, you will see that I said I play a role in the back and forth BS that we have going on. That is not just you, that you are just the only one acting like you're a victim. I really do think you are a narcissist sometimes. Like, okay, Chesa, you're always right, when I literally say the opposite. Like, I just owned up to the fact that we both play a role in the pettiness. Like, and you're saying, like, I'm perfect little snob. What? They said, bruh, shut the F up. Literally, the F me being white got to do with this. Which, y'all, it might have been petty for me to say that. But, like I said, this person is always, like, acting entitled and acting, like, speaking in their privilege all the time. And they don't even realize it. And it was just bothering me. So, if I was wrong for saying that, I'll admit that. I said, I never said I was always right. You move through life making dumb decisions and then cry and complain to everyone about how your life sucks when 90% of it is due to choices that you make. Don't nobody want to hear somebody complain every MFing day just to throw their hands up and call it harassment when someone finally gives them some effing criticism on how they can avoid these things. He said, like, B word, I literally hate you. And this was me responding to, what does me being white have to do with anything? I was like, because people stay acting entitled and oblivious. And then I was responding to the B word, I hate you, and saying, ew, you need help for real. Because why are you spazzing like that? Like, I get if you're upset, I get if you're like really overwhelmed, but why are you calling me out of my name and saying that you hate me right now? So they said, I wish I never met your disgusting ass. You need effing help, B word. And then they made a typo with the help, and I just repeated it. They said, you need halo. And I said, hello? I need hello? They said, F you and die. I said, LMAO. So I then texted them on a texting app because they blocked me right after that. Because I was like, okay, your little tantrum. I was just like, okay, are you sure that this is how you want to, like, talk to me? Because I didn't really do anything to you for you to be calling me out of my name. Like, if you were upset by the advice or the things that I was saying to you, that's one thing. Like, you can, you know, tell me I offended you. If I offended you, whatever, you can, that, you know what I'm saying? We going back and forth. But this B word and you hate me and stuff like that is really crazy. And like, why I told y'all to keep that in mind is because when I lived in my old apartment, there was a time where they were like, oh, you're gonna be mad at me when I tell you this. And I was like, tell me what? And they were like, sometimes I don't hang out with you because I'm jealous of how pretty you are. And that reminded me of something they said in middle school at the skating rink when we would go back and forth, and they would be like, remember how I told y'all they said that they hate how pretty I am and they're jealous of me, but you telling me you don't hang out with me because when you hang out with me you compare yourself to me and like it makes you mad. Like, when I told my mom, like, if that was weird when they said that to me, because my mom doesn't count. Like, it's not like I'm talking about you with all my friends. I had asked my mom, you know, is this a normal thing? Like, should I feel some type of way about them saying that? And she was like, that's a red flag, girl. Not hanging out with somebody because you're jealous of how pretty they are, that is weird. Like, she was like, girl, that's weird. And when we did have that falling out where it was like a year in between us being friends, my other friends would be like, you don't need to be back friends with them. Like, you don't need to make up with them. Like, I've made up with them so many times. And like, when we had fell out over, I think it was over that gas money thing that I told y'all about, like, we had stopped being cool because they blocked me. This person literally didn't tell me happy birthday on my birthday or anything, and I ended up reaching out to them on their birthday months later and was like, I miss you, happy birthday. And they were like, I'm gonna be honest, I was calling you off of star 67 just because I wanted to like hear your voice, but I didn't want to apologize. Like, basically saying they were calling me to try to like talk to me, but they didn't want to, they had too much pride to like make up with me. I had to reach out to them when they were the one that was wrong. Like, red flags everywhere. Like you're not grown enough and adult enough to own up when you're wrong and apologize to me. You're always constantly holding up your hands and saying that I'm the one holding up my hands. You're constantly talking bad on people, talking bad about your friends, telling your friends business, probably telling my business. You're constantly making bad decisions that affect other people and affect you, and constantly complaining to me about it for years. And then when I finally give you this hard advice that is still coming from a place of love, you're calling me harassing. And then when you want to give me that energy and I give it back to you, finally you talking about something, I hate you and die. Please, like, please. And I literally was like, I'm not gonna make a story time about this person because I have so much love for them. And like, I feel like them right now though. Like, you talk about me, my business to your friends, you talk about your friends' business to me. So you can't be mad at me for doing a story time, babe. I'm not saying your name. I didn't even explain what I meant by Lexi texted them and said something that I agree with. Basically, they called me and said like, oh, Lexi told me that she sent me this text saying that I'm a selfish friend and that I always call just to talk about myself, and I never call to check up on her, and I'm constantly complaining about my problems, and that she's not in a place where she can really like handle that right now because it's draining for her, and she just feels like I don't care about anybody but myself. And y'all, literally, I was listening to that trying not to laugh because I agreed with everything that she said, literally. And I've said things like that before, like, you're always calling me, like, we've had arguments where I've said like, you're always calling me, but it's to talk about you. Whenever I talk about myself, you change the subject and make it about you. Like, I'll literally be like, oh, me and so-and-so got into it and like, I'm really hurt. And they'll literally be like, oh yeah, and something. Like, I could literally be like, oh, my fish just died. I don't even have a fish, but I could be like, my fish just died. And they'll be like, yeah, but so then when I went to the store, like, you, like, not even acknowledging what I said, not even like, oh, that's crazy, and then changing the subject, like literally ignoring what I just said. And like, I've had people witness this happen because I've been around people while being on the phone with what did I say? Snarky. And literally they'd be like, do they always do that? And I'd be like, yeah, they do. Please help. Yeah, y'all, if you guys enjoy, make sure you comment, like, and subscribe. Comment other videos that you guys want to see from me. Turn on the post notification bell so you never miss when I post a video. Follow me on all my social medias that are in the link tree in the description box below. Also, if y'all try to go harass my friends trying to figure out who it is, or y'all think because you know that I fell out with somebody I'm talking about them, like, I fell out with multiple friends, y'all are not gonna just know automatically who this is about. And if y'all go and harass people, that's just gonna make me not want to tell y'all story times, because I don't tell y'all this to go harass anybody, because the situation is done and over with. By the time I make a story time about it, it's done. The situation is not fresh. So you don't go harassing nobody just because you feel like you know. Don't do that, because if you're a real supporter, you're not gonna go harassing nobody I make story times about. Also, y'all, it's time for my subscriber promos. If you guys know, I do promos for my subscribers. So the first person that I want to promote is this balloon service and luxury decorations brand, Deluxe Decor. Balloon services, luxury balloon services to add beautiful character to any event. No need to book a full party. She has room decor, luxury room designs for any type of mood, love, birthday, girls night in, watch party, whatever you want, let's do it. Small, elegant, and luxury services for events to celebrate any occasion like birthdays, graduations, and more. Also includes home decoration inquiries as well. And y'all, her website is super cute. I'm going to put in the description the link to her website. The next thing we have is Aesthetic Accessories LLC, which is a small black owned business with the purpose of offering affordable yet elegant accessories while also representing herself in a new selection of Christian products. You don't have to be a Christian to shop. Her goal is to invite everyone to find something on the website that fits them and their style. And y'all, she gave me a code. She's a real one. She gave me a subscriber code for y'all, Chesa20, for 20% off of your order. And there's free shipping, y'all, for all orders over $25, and all orders over $10 receive a free scrunchie. So I'm gonna link her shop and her Instagram down below as well. I've went on there, super cute stuff. She has satin bonnets, they're restocked, and she just dropped new beanies, so definitely be on the lookout for that. The next thing that I want to promote is the YouTube channel. Her name is Lacey MUA. I'm gonna put it on the screen just in case I'm not pronouncing it right. She does beauty, story times, and vlogs, and y'all, I checked out her channel and it eats. I'm gonna pop it up on the screen as well. Definitely go subscribe to her and tell her that Chesa sent you. I want to promote this girl who does psychic readings, y'all, and I got a reading by her. She actually reached out to me after seeing my video where I got scammed by those girls that supposedly did readings and stuff like that. She does psychic readings, mediumship, and tarot cards. She also has a tarot card channel that I'm gonna include in the description box, which is Empress Impress Me 222. And I'm gonna also include her information. Her code is Chesa20. Just to give you guys a rundown of the reading she gave me, for one, I felt super like, I felt super emotional. It felt legit to me. I would not lead you guys astray. I would not lie to y'all, which y'all know that by now. Like, I will not do a brand deal if I feel like they want me to be dishonest, and that has happened in the past. But she was giving me real tea. Like, she was telling me things that were actually going on in my life that there is no way that she would know unless I told her, to the point where I was like, there were tears streaming down my face. Very, very, very close to home. It hit me. I felt, and she was very like sweet and accommodating, and it was a comfortable space. Like, it felt like a safe space. My code is Chesa20. You guys will get $2 off of your first purchase. And yeah, you guys, that is it. So I will catch you guys in the next video. Bye.
ChesaTheBrat.